Emily Parker stood in the middle of the crowded grocery store aisle, blinking fast as tears blurred her vision. Her 6-year-old son, Noah, sat on the floor crying loudly, overwhelmed and exhausted. People stared. Some whispered. And in that moment, Emily felt the crushing weight of failure. She had worked 2 jobs, slept barely 4 hours a night, and did everything she could just to keep their small apartment running, yet here she was, unable to calm her own child. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe Noah deserves better, she thought as her throat tightened. She knelt down, trying to soothe him, but her trembling hands only made it worse. Noah covered his ears, rocking slightly, a sign she knew all too well. His sensory overload episodes had become more frequent lately, and Emily felt helpless. "I'm trying, baby. I'm trying," she whispered, but her voice shook with frustration and guilt. Just then, a soft, calm voice broke through the chaos. "Hey, may I help?" Emily looked up to see a tall man kneeling beside her. His expression wasn't judging, just gentle, warm, understanding. His name tag read Daniel Reeves, store manager. But it wasn't the title that caught her attention. It was the empathy in his eyes, the kind she hadn't seen in a long time. Daniel didn't swoop in or offer cliché advice. Instead, he sat quietly next to Noah, giving him space. After a moment, he silently placed a small stress ball near the boy's hand, bright blue with little stars on it. Noah slowly reached for it, squeezing it once, then again. His breathing began to slow. Emily stared in stunned silence. How did you do that?" Daniel smiled softly. "My daughter, Lily, she's 8. She used to have moments like this too. I just recognized the signs." The words hit Emily like a wave of relief. For months, she had felt alone in the world, misunderstood, judged, dismissed. But here was someone who understood without her needing to explain. When Noah finally calmed down, Daniel helped Emily to her feet. "You're doing great," he said. "I know it doesn't feel like it, but you are." Emily tried to hold back tears, but one slipped anyway. She wiped it quickly. "I feel like I'm failing him. I can't give him everything he needs. Some days I can barely give him me." Daniel shook his head gently. Then he leaned closer and whispered words she didn't know she needed so desperately. "You're not alone." Those words broke something inside her, but in the best way. A wall she had built around her heart for years began to crack. For the next few weeks, Emily noticed small things happening. Every time she visited the store after work, Daniel would appear, never intrusive, never overstepping, just offering genuine kindness. Sometimes it was a coloring book left at the customer service desk for Noah. Sometimes it was a quiet conversation about parenting while Emily packed groceries into her car. Sometimes it was simply a warm smile that made her feel seen. Emily started to look forward to these small moments more than she wanted to admit. Despite her gratitude, challenges still shadowed her life. Her job at the diner cut her hours without warning. Her rent increased. Noah's school called, informing her he needed additional support she could barely afford. One night, overwhelmed and exhausted, Emily sat on the floor of her kitchen and cried silently. She felt like the world was slipping through her fingers. The next day at the store, Daniel noticed instantly. "You didn't sleep," he said softly. Emily shook her head, forcing a smile. "I'll be fine." But Daniel didn't believe fine. He tilted his head. "Come with me." He led her to a small employee room in the back, quiet, private. He handed her a cup of tea and waited. She finally broke down, telling him everything: the stress, the bills, the fear of failing Noah, the loneliness she couldn't escape. Daniel listened, not as a store manager, not even as a friend, but as someone who genuinely cared. "My wife died 4 years ago," he said finally. "I raised Lily alone. I know what it feels like to be terrified and exhausted at the same time." Emily looked at him, her eyes softening. She had always wondered how he understood so well, now it made sense. Daniel continued, "You don't have to carry everything alone. Let me help. Let others help. You deserve support too." It wasn't romantic. It wasn't dramatic. It was real. And it was the first time in years someone told her she wasn't expected to be strong every second. Weeks passed, and their connection grew naturally. Daniel helped Emily find a better paying job at a partner store. He guided her to resources for Noah's needs, programs she hadn't known existed. He never asked for anything in return. And Emily found herself relying on his presence more and more, not out of desperation, but out of trust. One Saturday afternoon, Emily picked Noah up from Daniel's home. Lily had invited him for a playdate. The kids were painting.